As you can see, the interface can be divided in 4 areas: the header and the footer, the control zone, the map zone, and the table zone. On top and completely bottom, you will find information relative to the GNSS data gateway and links to the other services of EPOS GNSS. First, the help with the guided tour of the interface, a video demonstrating how to use the interface, and a documentation of the interface. Here you see the bottom linking the other EPOS GNSS services, the product portal that will be presented tomorrow, the M3G that Karen just presented, and the integrated core service portal that will be shown in the next presentation. On the bottom, you can find other information like the list of nodes here and a contact address for the data gateway. In the second zone, the control zone here, you will find the button that allows to search and download station metadata, and the button to search and download the file metadata and data. The clear button allows to reset the whole interface. Finally, the advanced search button displays a panel of choice when complex requests are necessary. We will see it later. In the center here, you will find the third zone, the map zone. It is the area of geographical interaction and selection. The map shows the station location. It is possible to drag the map, zoom in and out with Ctrl plus scroll, and to select the station. It is possible to select an area, either with a circle, a rectangle, or a polygon. And on the left, it's also possible to use coordinate to determine an area of selection, either rectangular on the top or circular at the bottom. The station network can be selected there. At the moment, there are 3 types of networks. International one, like the one of EPOS, but all the data are EPOS data. So you can see here we put the IGS or EPN international network with red and orange circles. So we use hot color for international network. You can see that you can choose local network with inner colors that are different. And also the third kind is a virtual network, for example, as for volcanology or near fault observatory network with bluish circle coloring. So we use cold color for this virtual network. And finally, here is the fourth zone, which is the table zone, where you can see the main station metadata. The metadata can be selected, filtered, or sorted in each of the column. And we will do an example. For example, we will look for stations that were installed before January 2000. You see that it found 82 stations. Then you can sort them, for example, by date of installation. But also, if you are interested to know from which network they belong to, you can sort them by network. Or if you are interested for only stations that are located in a specific country, you can sort by country. For example, we can use France. Now we can clear everything and try another example. We can look at station in a specific country. This time we can use Italy. And all what appear is station located in Italy. You can also look for a specific network. Let's use EPN. And you can see that it appears only the station belonging to this network. So all the columns can be used to filter or sort, but you can also select rows. For example, I will select 3 rows here. And you see that the circle associated to this station in the map zone will be highlighted. And actually, I don't know if you notice at each example, but all the selection and filtering we've just did from the table panel, they are quite first fast because all the metadata are already preloaded. So there is no need to send the request to the database. And secondly, they are dynamic in the sense that the effect is directly visible on the map and in the table. Then, if you want, you can also refine with further criteria using the advanced search panel. In that case, the request will be a little longer as it needs to send a request to the database at the DGW. The criteria of the advanced search are diverse. So you can see that you can look for other type of station metadata, the receiver type, the antenna type, the radome type, and the satellite system. But you can also define some criteria for file metadata. For example, to see which data exists for your date range of interest here, but also specify the minimum percentage of data available or the minimum number of years you want the station have some data. You can specify the type of RANEX file you would like or the status of the file, which reflects a quality indicator with respect to the RANEX header or what is expected in the file. There is the pop-up that explains you the 1, 2, or 3 status. Finally, you can also select criteria about the observation in the file and the quality check summary. Selecting criteria in the QC file info box will be much longer as these metadata are stored locally and not at the DGW. So for example, let's try to search for stations that have more than 3 years of data. So you enter the number here and then click on metadata search. And you have a new window that open and that gives you the results. I will come back to it later. So let's go back to the main page and clear any selection. So now I will show you how to discover and download the metadata with still the web client. So for that purpose, I will use a use case. For example, one wants to study the Letay 2019 earthquake. So first, let's find all stations with different criteria. First criteria will be, for example, looking for station located in a radius of 100 kilometers around the epicenter of the earthquake. So we enter the longitude and latitude in the box and the radius of 100 kilometers. You can see the station appearing on the map. Then we want stations that were installed before 2019. So let's do it in the table zone. And with data between the 1st of November 2019 and the 30th of November 2019. So we do it in the advanced search box. Now we have all our criteria that are set, and we click on the metadata search button to get the metadata. It will search the database for all the station metadata corresponding to the selected criteria. The new window appears, displaying the station metadata resulting of the query. This window shows also several areas. So let's describe them. In the control zone area, you can see 3 buttons. Add in the history to save this query in your history for later purpose. The download button to download the metadata in Geodesy ML, JSON, or IJS.log format, which could be the purpose of your search, or the export button, which allows to export the query either directly to the API or for using the command line client. Then there is a list of stations and their metadata in a table. You can especially see the instrumentation and the percentage of data availability that is now accessible. Moreover, as you can see, there is only 8 stations compared to the 12 in the previous interface. 4 stations having no data in November 2019. Then the map of the station restricted to the selected station. If you select a station in either the table or the map, you can see its time series retrieved from the product portal here. On the bottom, the data availability is displayed for the stations from their installation to the current date, as well as the percentage of data availability over the life of the station. You can also zoom in if you want. If you click on a specific station, for example, AIGL, it opens a new window and you can display even more information about the station, which is sorted in a tab. So there is the station and monument information. The instrumentation as a list, but also as a session view. There is a new line every time there is a change in the main instrument, which means antenna, receiver, or radome. The green shows what changed. The contact list, the contact tab lists the contact of the station. Data availability allows to explore the availability of the data as a heat map, where the greener is the month, the more data there is. When a month is clicked, the list of days with data for the month appear. So it's possible to download the Rhinex farm from there. You can select one or several days and click download. So let's try it. But it's not the main interface to do that because it doesn't allow you to select a lot of files. Finally, the QC tab displays some QC for the date chosen, but avoid to choose too many days because it would be long to download. Okay, now let's go to the third part. So discovering and downloading data with still the web client. So we will continue with the same use case and go back to the main window of the web client here, where we selected our criteria previously. So the dedicated way to download Rhinex file from the web client is to select File Search. So it opened a new window, and there is a new tab that shows the file metadata for the edge station, like the file name, the file type, the date the data were required, etc. From there, it is possible to download either JSON with all the file metadata, a script that uses wget to download the data, a list of file URL, and finally an option to download directly the data selected. You can also export the query to be used with the command line client, for example. For massive or automated downloads of the data and metadata, it's better to use the command line that Jean-Luc will now present to you, and you will see it will be much faster.
While the web client is perfect for exploring visually the metadata and downloading some data, For massively or regularly downloading data and metadata, the command line client is more adapted. As you can see, when the archive is uncompressed, 4 files are available: the changelog, the configuration file, the software itself, and a README. Let's have a look at the available parameters for the software. First, we have H to show the help message and exit, U to select the class server to query, and CF to select a config file. Then we have the station metadata parameters, such as L for the marker, RS, CS, PS that allow to define respectively a rectangular, circular, and polygonal area of selection. The next 6 parameters allow to define the latitude, longitude, and elevation of the selection. And the next 4 define the installation and removal date of the stations. NW allows for selecting network, and INW to remove network from the selections. Some more parameters for the station metadata are here. I will skip them. Here we have the file metadata parameters. DDS and DD for defining a starting and ending date for the data. DA for defining the percentage of data availability required. And there is more parameters for the file metadata. We can then choose an output with O that allow to select the format of the output. There is JSON, GeoDesiML, and sitelog for the station metadata, and a list for the file metadata. The index can also be downloaded by setting this parameter to download. Finally, download DIRs allow to select a specific path to save the data. As for the web client, 2 main modes of use are present: querying for the station metadata with the station parameter, and querying for the file metadata with the files parameter. To give a short example on how to pass the parameters, this command shows station metadata in JSON for the station AGD00FRA. Note that several markers can be queried at the same time, here, EGL and AGD. Now let's have a look to how can we download the metadata. They can be downloaded as JSON just by redirecting the output of the command to a file, like this example. They can be downloaded as GeoDesiML by using the parameter O GeoDesiML. They can also be downloaded as IGS sitelog by giving the parameter O with the option sitelog. Let's have a look now to how can we download data. Files can be downloaded with O parameter. Give it the value download. Let's go back to the showcase of the web client. Finding station metadata and data for the Lotte 2019 earthquake. Let's find all the stations located in a radius of 100 km around the epicenter of the earthquake, at a latitude of 44.5 degrees and a longitude of 4.67 degrees. We want all the stations installed before 2019 that have data between the 1st of November and the 30th of November. So the parameter stations allows to search for station metadata. The parameter CS allows to select all the stations belonging to a circle centered at the earthquake epicenter with a radius of 100 kilometers. The parameter IDMax allows to select all the stations installed before 2019. The parameters DDS and DDE allow to select all the stations having data in November 2019. The parameter oSiteLog allows to download the station corresponding to these parameters. As you see, we have 8 site logs. Now, if we want to download the Renex file corresponding to these parameters, it is sufficient to replace the parameter stations with file, and the output from sitelog to download. Adding the parameter download_dir Renex allows to store the file in the directory Renex. Let's have a look. This concludes the demonstration of the web and command line clients. Let's finish with some useful links. The M3G, the data gateway, the product portal, the ICS. And finally, to contact the data gateway, write to this address gnss-dgw@oka.eu. Thank you for your attention.